Lost Mine of Phandelver remains a popular and well-regarded D&D 5e adventure. It's no surprise when other low-level adventures emulate its design of several side quests and stories intersecting around a small town. Case in point, the Goblin Bathwater Incident. Hey everyone, Eric Watson here, freelance writer, player of games, writer of words, recorder of videos, and tabletop role-playing aficionado. With this preview, we're going to take a brief look at the Goblin Bathwater Incident, a level 1 adventure designed by Marius Brunner for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, out now on the DM's Guild. This preview video has been sponsored by the publisher. Goblin Bathwater Incident is a professionally designed 50-page Tier 1 adventure reminiscent of Lost Mine of Phandelver, and yes, that is a high bar to compare it to. It takes players from levels 1 through level 3, although it also includes suggested starting points later in the adventure if you want to start at a higher level. As in Phandelver and other official campaigns, it also suggests character hooks for each of the official backgrounds to help tie your player characters into the story. The adventure takes place around Antique, a coastal town on the border of a larger empire, kept purposely vague so DMs can easily add it to their own campaign worlds. Story begins in a tavern, where many stories begin, where a friendly boxing match devolves into a tavern-wide brawl thanks to one particularly crazed individual hopped up on the adventure's titular drug, Goblin Bathwater. That's not just a gross nickname, by the way, it's also literally the bottled water taken from a goblin chieftain who ascended to near godhood due to a magical discovery in a cave near the town. It serves as the adventure's final challenge. In Part 2, the player characters are arrested, along with everyone else in the tavern, but the captain lets them out the next day due to some undead problems. Someone has raised a bunch of ghouls, and that's a job for adventurers. Part 3 provides an excellent balance of social role-playing, dungeon crawling, and combat encounters as they investigate around town, meet some Genasi refugees, and deal with the ghouls with the help of a Deus Ex Pegasus. Say that too often. The chapter culminates in a dungeon crawl inside a wizard's tower full of puzzles, traps, and encounters, including false stairs, reverse gravity, and a puzzle combat encounter on a chessboard. Part 3 also includes several scripted wilderness encounters, such as a battle between a manticore and an owlbear, and a family full of awakened shrubs minding their own business. Thank you very much. With the information they've gathered in Part 3, the party should now be equipped to deal with the two rival NPC faction leaders of the town, Errol of the Fishers Guild and Torter of the Artisans Guild. Interestingly, this is not a case of right or wrong or good and bad, as both of them are crooked politicians and have engaged in numerous crimes as they try to wrest control of the town. The string of events has the party repelling an assassin, interrupting a smuggling operation, and meeting a pair of goblin defectors dressed as a single humanoid in a trench coat. Torter can be confronted in his home, but to reach Errol, the party will need to snoop down to her underground smuggling lair beneath the tavern, battling thugs, and possibly running into a nasty Ooblex along the way. The final chapter has the party exploring the Goblin Hive complex, which features semi-domesticated basilisks, a fortress full of hobgoblins and bugbears, and multiple rope bridges spanning a 200-foot-deep crater filled with magmen. It's not all a combat slog, however. The goblinoids are in the midst of a crisis of faith and possible civil war, and are willing to negotiate with outsiders, though ultimately the party will have to face the villainous Nilbog, who has been sowing discontent amongst the goblins. The party will most likely have to put down the Nilbog-possessed priest, destroying their giant-sized sleeping goblin goddess, who erupts into a portal to the elemental plane of fire, creating an exciting escape as the entire area is transformed into an active volcano. Whoops. Or the party could discover the immortal, though mostly now zombified druids who hold back a magic barrier to another plane, possibly becoming its new custodians or unlocking the portal for further adventures. The adventure also includes 2 appendices with several pages of magic items and NPC details and stat blocks. Maps of the major dungeons are included embedded in the text, as well as in separate image files, though please be aware these are black and white pencil maps, and most of them are isometric rather than top-down grid maps. While I didn't find the overall plot structure as compelling as Lost Mine of Phandelver, I did appreciate the focus on a single small town with its many problems. The Goblin Bathwater Incident is a well-designed Tier 1 adventure with a great balance of role-playing, puzzles, traps, investigation, and dungeon crawling. Thank you all for watching this DM's Guild preview. If you'd like for me to cover your D&D related product, reach out to me at roguewatson.com, and you can support my work at patreon.com/roguewatson. Thank you.